it's humbling and humiliating. Like, it's humbling to be with the people. It's humiliating because I'm like herded like cattle, and the only person that actually I can have a physical relationship and conversation with is a armed county sheriff. Like, that's the only person you can talk to when you go down there to 400 Mile Road to talk about taxes, and this may be the last time you possibly can advocate for a property that's been in your family for generations. You know what I'm saying? Like, the only person you can really have like a face-to-face, not through the glass conversation with is a cop.
You can come to my office. But yeah, I know.
You know what I'm saying?
I do.
So it's like, and I'm talking about from the government. Like, that's some different type of shit.
Yeah. And, you know, part of it is just the volume of it. And that's another of the scary things about where we're at right now is these policies came into place at a state level, and they coincided with some really dramatic global national shit in the housing crisis that happened. And because Detroit had so many homeowners, we had so much to lose. Yeah. And we have. Now, for the first time in decades, there are more renters than owners in Detroit. We've inverted the proportion now. And that's only going to continue. It's not like the opportunities to buy are really out there.
And let's talk a little bit about that. As some of my clients, one of my clients is big on like talking and interacting with some of the some international investors that are buying homes in bulk.
Yeah.
And then like auctioning, so like a group of like people from, I don't know, Russia or something will buy like 50 different Detroit properties, bundle them together, and make it an investment, get other investors to invest. But if you're just like a person looking to start a family, you almost need a home. Like, a mortgage is not even going to be considered to you unless you get a home that's worth more than like $120K.
Yeah. So that's what I was trying to get at too, is when you have so much turnover, you necessarily have to work in bulk because you can't be a good steward of these individual things. And you know, the land bank now owns 90,000 properties. That's almost a quarter of the city that they own. And they don't have better policies if you're going to live in one of their homes versus if you're going to flip it. And so they don't treat you any differently. And so the policies are ones that prefer people with bankability, with credit, with bulk volume, you know, that you can even get the ear of somebody because you're talking in double digits instead of just one-offs. And so, and as just an understanding the human capacity of the people there, I see why, yeah, it's appealing to go in the bulk programs because there's so much volume there, and it leads to a little bit of coldness too in the processes. I think that, okay, now you asked me at the beginning of this conversation about the change from 2008 till now, and one of the changes is just in the semantics. I remember when they talked about downsizing, and that was like a thing in the news commonly, national news, downsizing. They're talking about downsizing Detroit. And then that became unfashionable, and they started calling it right-sizing. And it was just a verbal flip. And everyone knew, duh, it's the same thing. It was unpopular, and it would have been expensive to carry out, because if you're going to do eminent domain on someone, you got to pay them to move. So what we then had was the void. We didn't talk about it. And we had a form of passive eviction, which is tax foreclosure and water shutoffs. And that one of the incredible differences there, other than it being not organized, you know, it's not shrinking in a thoughtful way or whatever, is that it's based on a presumption of merit. Not only do I not pay you, I tell you it's your fault. And don't let the door hit you on the way out. You don't even get any equity. You know, you get nothing. And it's, again, it's based on an understanding that you didn't do this, therefore you lose, and it's legal, or it's based on something that is written in the law. And so it allows that coldness of the process that you deal with when you go down there, and it allows this to happen in bulk, and it allows us to have a somewhat orderly process to do something extremely radical and harmful.
Black revolutionaries, distillery owners, Italian fashion retailers, and Motown Grammy winners all share their best stories never before told in any other media outlets on Detroit is Different. Visit DetroitisDifferent.com or download the Detroit is Different app on Apple's App Store or Google's Play Store.